Hey everyone, what is going on? We're just gonna get started here in just a few seconds here. I'm gonna pull it up on my iPad here, make sure I'm able to see the comments or people who are coming in. Want to make sure I acknowledge you. So give me just a second here. All right. All right. Hey everybody, what is going on here? I see it myself here on my iPad here. Again, what's going on? My name is Curtis Brooks, and I am a digital marketer, actually, essentially a online business owner. Some of you are, and some of you are not. But in any event, as a digital marketer, or you, even as a business owner, hey, what's going on, Tish? Long time no see. What's going on, girl? So either way, as a business owner, online business owner, you wear many, many hats, and most of you know that if you whether your business is online or you have a physical building. So again, most of what we're doing is we're wearing a lot of different hats. But today I want to talk about streams of income, unlimited streams of income online here. And I've been in the digital marketing space for about 7 years now, almost 8 years. And the income potential that is available online is truly unlimited. And it essentially is, I like to believe the sky's the limit. Not that we're going to fulfill all those different jobs or just be able to take hold of all opportunities. But I say that there's unlimited streams of income because I know I've worked in a regular job, or just a job, job, as some people say, just over broke. I've worked a regular job too for many, many years, and like most of you, and that's where most of us have worked a regular job, and so I understand, and like yourself, how challenging it can be. I understand how difficult it can be in regards to one, getting to work, especially if you got dreams and other ideas of different things that you might want to do. Being in traffic, the commute, if you will, dealing with certain kind of employees or difficult employees, dealing with difficult management, your supervisor. And so there are a lot of different challenges that are put before us. But I think that working in the online space for me has provided me with the most empowerment ever. And I say that because while working with, or at least a regular job, I worked in the airline industry for many years, but while working a regular job, I found that I wasn't really able to really deal with me, the person that was working that job. And here's what I mean, because and working for myself, and most cases by myself, but in working in online business, I found that I was able to really see what I wanted. Because a lot of times, if you got kids or you're on a job or you've got all these different things going on, a lot of times it's about someone else. It's about helping someone build their business. It's about getting the kids ready. It's about this. It's about that. It's about so many other things rather than taking a good hard look at what we want. And when we're trying to work a job, or at least, and you have to work a job. Obviously you need resources to provide and take care of your family. But when working a job, it becomes very, very difficult to really know what you want, or at least to see yourself in our craziness sometimes, and to even begin to kind of put a finger on it and maybe even correct it, maybe even change it. So for me personally, I found that in the online space, working primarily by myself as a business owner, I found that I've essentially found out about me. And that's what I'm trying to say. I found out what Curtis wants, what Curtis needs. And when I was working a regular job, that wasn't always the case, because again, it was usually always about someone else. It was usually always about some situation, or whatever the case might be. And we can't clearly see a lot of times in the midst of distraction. So for me, the online environment provides tons of opportunities to make money online. So what I'm going to share with you in a little bit I'm going to share with you a program that I started, or at least a group I started, and it's about entrepreneurs, individuals who are new to the online space, showing you or friends that you might want to kind of tag in this live stream, showing you how to make money online, things that you will need to make money online. There are certain things that you'll need to have in place. One, like a domain name, and domain meaning your website. It'll be Curtis Brooks or whatever you want to call it. But again, there are certain things that you're going to need to have set in place before starting your online business. Because one, you not only want to attract customers, you not only want to make sure that your copy is reading correctly, so that you attract those customers. You also want to make sure that you have an offer, something that they need. Because let's face it, if you're trying to give someone something that they don't need, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a hard sell. So we'll get more into that, but I just want to get back to that place where, again, talking about making money online, the unlimited streams of income, the unlimited streams of potential that lie here or that are available here online. And most of us have learned our skills either from school. Perhaps you're in a trade. And let's face it now, a lot of you might have degrees, but let's face this one reality is that if you have gone to a 4-year school, 4-year college, you've got your bachelor's or your master's, advanced studies, or whatever the case might be, 9 times out of 10, you have not placed yourself or been in the real world environment, unless you're doing some kind of work study. And that's nothing wrong with that. But it's a good chance that you or I have not placed ourselves in some kind of work study, or at least have the real world experience to go along with our studies. And so when we get out of school, you really have no experience. You have absolutely zero experience if you have not had any kind of work study. And so when you get that job, in most cases, it's probably not going to be in your course of study through, your 4 years, 6 years in school, or maybe even 8 years. It's probably not going to be in your field of study. So now you've got to get the skills. And then when you acquire the skills, you got to stay there, remain in that place long enough so you can get the knowledge that is needed. And after you acquire the knowledge, you might get a job in what you have gone to school for. And that's a might. And I'm bringing this up because the chances of us really, a lot of us really kind of working in that field of study is slim to none. There are a lot of people who have liberal arts. Maybe they're working in fast food restaurants. A lot of people who have, and again, it doesn't matter what the degree is in, but we're working below a skill set. And what I'm proposing here, that the online space is really a place where you can branch out and learn how to be yourself, learn just multiple skill sets. And it doesn't mean that you're going to be using all the skill sets, but it does mean that you have the opportunity to put your skill set to work. You have the opportunity to make money online, and you have opportunity to help others. And maybe helping others, maybe that's not your forte, but if you are in the place of, you have a service, you have a business that you're in business, and you have a product that you're offering, you are in the business of helping people. That's just, let's just face that. So if you have a service, you have a product, you are in the business of helping people. And if you don't like helping people, the online space is probably not for you. Maybe even having a job is not for you. But the reality of it is that we need to work. We need the resources. And again, I want to propose to you that the online space is a space that there's truly unlimited potential. One of the ways I have gathered my knowledge online is through YouTube. There are a lot of people who are a lot more knowledgeable than I am in certain areas, and that's okay. But there are a lot of videos that these same people who are more knowledgeable than I am, they offer their knowledge essentially for free. Some of them will have courses that they offer as well outside of their videos that they're doing on YouTube or Facebook. But most of my learning experiences in the online space, and I'm going to be very, very frank with you, has been online. And whether you're working a job, whether you're going to school, it doesn't matter. You're going to have to put the time in, and you can't get away from putting the time in and learning that skill, eventually putting that skill to work and liking what you do, or maybe even loving what you do, putting into work and being able to provide a service or product for someone that's in need. More and more, you have people leaving their regular jobs, leaving the 9 to 5, the 10 to 6, or the 9 to 8, or whatever the case might be. In most cases, we're working more than 8 hours. You know, I've been there, done that. As a former flight attendant in the airline industry, worked a couple of different positions. I've worked as a flight attendant. I've worked as a flight dispatcher. So they're very just intense jobs, if you will. You know, tense as far as physical, mental. You have to be alert all the time. And just physically exhausting, because there are times that as a flight attendant, even as a flight dispatcher, I was working 12 to 16 hours, you know, and then have to get up early the next day. And perhaps your day may not be as long, but here's the thing. If you factor in, let's just say you're doing 8 hours. If you factor in your 8-hour day, you factor in your maybe an hour commute, and that's to and from. So let's say you've got 30 minutes to work and 30 minutes back. So you got an hour commute. You've got 9 hours of work right there, 9 hours. Excuse me. Not to mention the time that it takes us usually maybe to prepare for work. So you've got time, you know, that it takes to prepare for work. And let's say about an hour. Typically we're waking up maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours before, and some people even earlier. So you've got anywhere for about 12 hours right there. And you get to work, you're placed in perhaps a situation, or you're dealing with the different personalities. And again, I love people. How many times have you heard that? But I do personally. I like people, absolutely. But here's the thing. A lot of times we're dealing with so many different personalities, and that by the time you get home, your half-hour commute, you've got to get home eventually, obviously, take care of your family, prepare the following day, and you get into that routine. And truly, by the time you get done creating for other people and making sure that things are looking the way they should be per their instructions or your procedures that you might have to follow at work, by the time you finish doing all that, you're completely exhausted. I've been there, done that, guys. Got the t-shirt, the hat, the whatever. But I've been there, done that before. So I completely understand, again, that commute, working a regular job, and not there's anything wrong with that. But I want to flow into the residual income that can come from the online space. So now that you are completely exhausted, you get home, you might even have a cocktail, a beer, glass of wine, or whatever the case might be, just kind of wind down, collect your thoughts. You, after a few moments of sitting down, reading the paper, watch the news or something, you kind of really in a place now, you're starting that routine all over again. You've got to get ready for work. Here online, working online for me has provided really, truly a place of comfort. And let me explain, because for me, it's been, I get to find my uniqueness. And ultimately, that's what it's about. And it's hard to find your uniqueness when you are in the midst of all of these different things going on, getting to work, making sure you're there on time. And again, obviously, there's nothing wrong with being to work on time, but I think that with so many different things going on, it's hard to find our uniqueness. And for me, working in the online space and essentially kind of just working by myself and having my own business, if you will, in the online space, serving mostly in the online sector, if you will. People who are wanting to start their own business, people who are wanting to make money online, and perhaps you want to do it part time, maybe you want to do it full time. But either way, my uniqueness has, or at least I've discovered my uniqueness in the online space. Because when I eventually stepped away from the rat race, if you will, that hamster on that wheel, if you will, just kind of just doing the mundane, just continuously every day, if you will. And I really purposely wanted to paint this picture in the way that I did, because after a while, our minds, our bodies, and I think the spirit of a man, if you will, spirit of a man, meaning women as well, the spirit of a human being, we eventually, again, that hamster wheel, we eventually kind of get worn out to the point that we become unresponsive to the things that really matter. And our uniqueness is no longer really of value. It's not to say that it's not important. It's what I mean is that we lose our identity, if you will. And I think that's a really appropriate word, because if you can't identify with the things that you love anymore, because we've spent so much time giving it away, and it's not for free now. Don't get me wrong; it's absolutely not for free. We're essentially, we give our time and we get paid, but we're so much worth more than that. And to discover your uniqueness, you're really going to have to step away from the rat race. That's what this is about. So whatever you decide to do online, whether you are perhaps you are an admin and, on your job, perhaps you were you did something, I don't know. You can actually, here in the online space, and a better way of saying it, here in the online space is that there is really and truly nothing that you can't do, that you can't not learn online. My mom would say to me years ago, many, many years ago, she would say, Curtis, she said, baby, if you want to learn something, you can always find it in the book. And I stand by that. And I have believed that from the time that my mom told me. And I want to share with you as well. If you want to learn something, you can always find it in a book. The best information is found in a book. And maybe perhaps reading is not your thing. The best information can be found in videos as well. People are sharing their skill set, they're sharing their talents. And truly, there's nothing that you can't learn, that you can't really begin to, once you've learned it, duplicate it, if you will. Build your own business. Perhaps online business is not your thing. Maybe you can have this set up in a way that you're just, making money part-time, if you will. And if that's something that you want to do, you can do it online. You can make money part-time online. And here are one of my suggestions that you're going to need. Not obviously, if you want to make money online, it's nice to have a website. And that means that you'll need to have a domain. Your domain could be www.makemoneyonline.curtisbrooks. It can be literally anything. Okay. If that's your goal. Once you have your domain in place, you're going to need a website. You're going to need a hosting company first. Let me put this kind of reiterate that again. You'll need a domain and you'll need a hosting company to host your domain. And your domain is essentially again, it's going to be your website, but it's essentially your address where your content is going to live at on the web. Okay. So that's what they call your domain. And then once you have your domain, you have a hosting company, you're going to have some nice content on your page too that's going to attract those visitors. You have to have an offer. And as you are putting all these 4 things in place, it's also nice to make sure that you're building relationships. And I think for me, again, these 5 things have truly become the source of what I'm doing here online, because it's allowed me to find my uniqueness. As long as I was working that job, it was always about somebody else. Perhaps you've got kids. It's in most cases about the kids. And even till they're grown, in most cases, it's about the kids. At what point do we say, you know what, kids, job, I've given you my best years. It's time for a mom, dad, aunt, uncle, whoever you are. It's time for me to take charge of my own life. Go after the things that I've desired. Because rest assured, when we get done dealing with other people's stuff, we are exhausted to the point of we just become insensitive to everyone else's needs because we're exhausted. And it doesn't have to be that way, though. That's the truth of the matter. It doesn't have to be that way. Because whether it be your kids, whether it be the job, there is always going to be work to do. And again, what point do we, as parents, as the dreamer, begin to put our dream in motion and not allow the dream to fall by the wayside because of everyone else's problems? Mom, dad, I need this. Can you help me with this? Just a host of different things. It's always something. And I think that even in our own personal lives as individuals, we know it's always something, whether it be with us or with someone else. But at some point, it has to be about us, and not enough of us are recognizing that. And again, I want to just say, obviously, there's nothing wrong with working a job, but at some point, you have to really kind of just step aside or step to the side and really ask yourself those important questions. What is it that I want to do? And I guarantee you, mostly of what you can do or what you would like to do can be found online. I talked about the 5 things: having a domain, hosting company, having a website, having content that is attractive to your viewers, and then building relationships. That is absolutely going to get you in the door. Hey, Cassandra, thanks for joining. Appreciate you. Those 5 things will absolutely get you in the door. And as you begin to build relationships, again, perhaps doing a live stream, creating a podcast. If you don't like video, there's alternative, and that is a podcast. Perhaps you can do a pre-recorded video. It doesn't have to be the live stream all the time, but more and more people are looking for content. More and more people are looking really essentially for a way out. They want to discover their uniqueness. And if you have found your uniqueness, man, what a wonderful thing that is. And now, in most cases, if you found your uniqueness, it becomes difficult not to share it with someone else. It really does. It becomes difficult not to share what you have found with others, because you genuinely want others to get there. And that's the space I'm in, really. That's the space, that's where I'm at right now in my life. I am so much enjoying this online space because I'm making money online. I don't have to worry about being in traffic. I don't have to worry about people nagging me. It doesn't mean there won't be clients that can kind of get on your nerves too. That's always going to be, that's just people. That's, we like we like what we like, and that's just how things are. And people sometimes don't always get along. And that's okay. So there's some things that you probably won't ever get away from. But one, as an online marketer, I don't have to worry about traffic. I'm literally in my pajamas. I've obviously got the top on, but I've got pajama bottoms and sandals on. And I'm saying it to say is that this is truly the online space. It's allowed me to find my uniqueness. It's allowing me to find my talents that I had, but I just didn't have the opportunity to kind of focus on those things. So if you are out of work, or if you're working and looking for, maybe a new job, and if not a new job, maybe how to make a residual income, you can do it online. You can find a skill set online that will allow you to make an additional income. Guys, one of the things that I have learned online is building websites. I'm going to show you a page that I put together recently for this, for the group that I created, the Facebook group. It's called the Brilliant Circle. Okay, it's called the Brilliant Circle, and I've created the landing page. A landing page is essentially a one-page, not so much a website, but it's a one-page, what they call it, a lead magnet, a call to action, something that says, hey, look at me. Typically, the links aren't going all over the place, if you will. The links are just kind of just a single solo focus. You want to give the information to people. You want them to sign up or not sign up, but nevertheless, they've got just a solo focus, and it allows them to see your content. And you want the copy. The copy, when I say copy, I mean copywriting. That's the language, the content, in the context, how you deliver your message. You want that information to be legible. You want it to stand out. You want it to speak to their needs. And, excuse me, how many of you have went to a website and you found it, I'm not really sure what they're saying, what they're asking for, but this is essentially my point in all of this, is that many of us are truly struggling to kind of get along, if you will. And you don't have to struggle, because whatever you need can be found in the online space. You can literally make a job for yourself. And that's what I did. I create videos for my clients. I build websites. I do voiceover for my clients. I write copy for my clients as well. All 4 things that I've learned online by watching YouTube videos, by watching people who are absolutely willing to share their information. All these different things I've learned online. So I have created a group. Wow, time flies. I have created a group literally that is going to help you bring your product, your service to fruition online. We will go from within the group that I've created, the Facebook group. Again, it's called the Brilliant Circle. We'll go from the beginning to actually getting your product online. That's what is going to take place in the Brilliant Circle if you so should desire to sign up. We'll go to, again, the process of setting you up, helping you get create your domain, get your hosting for your domain, create a service or product. We will help with the copywriting. And typically from the time that all this takes place, and from the time that, it just kind of sinks in, because it's a lot of information, guys. It is a lot of information, because truly the online space is no different from a physical store, if you will. The online space essentially is, again, similar to a physical store, but obviously virtual. So with the online space, again, even with the group that I'm discussing here, is that I'll help you from the beginning to getting your product and service online so that you are attracting customers. You're going to need an email list. That's one of the things I forgot to mention. That's hugely important. So I'll help you with an email list, be it MailChimp if you're just starting out. They've got a free service, or and they've got a paid service. But MailChimp has, I think, up to 2,000 subscribers, and you can get that for free, up to 2,000 subscribers. And I'll help you again from the beginning: domain, website, landing page, to content. Help you even come up with a service or a product that you're offering. And here's the thing, guys: most of you have a skill set already, so you don't have to reinvent the wheel. That's what making money online is about. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. But many of us are saying, well, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do that. The truth of the matter, guys, there's a lot of stuff that I didn't know how to do. But now I'm doing it because I learned it online. People want to know how to do certain things. Most cases, people don't have the time to do it. And so that's where you or I come in, because if they don't have the time to do that job, whatever it might be, you can do it for them and you can charge them for it. And that's the thing with the online space too, is that initially there is going to be a learning curve. There's going to be a learning curve of anything that you learn new. If it's new to you, you don't know how to do it. You've never seen it before in some cases. So there's going to be a learning curve on how do I go about doing this. But if you put the pressure on and it's something that you want to do, the learning curve goes away. And now you are competent, and now you are able to create a landing page. Now you're able to speak to your audience, and you've got your service and you've got the product together. And now you're building relationships and making money online. This is what this is about. They call this a gig economy, meaning that we are a long way from the gold watches that some people have gotten for 20 plus years in a company. No more gold watches. Those times are over with. Companies aren't keeping people that long. So why not allow yourself to at least put yourself in a position where you can make additional income online? Some of you may have actually heard some of the younger people, and I say younger people, 18, 20 years old, 25 years old, making thousands of dollars, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars online. And some of us think that, oh, it's not true. It is true, guys. It is true. Because much like yourself, Tish, Cassandra, me, and those who will watch the replay, most of us are looking for additional income. The job is not, that one job is not providing everything that we need. So again, for that reason, I have put together this group. It's called the Brilliant Circle. I would love for you to decide to take a part of it. The group is, I'm going to put it on the screen here. Okay, the group again is called the Brilliant Circle. And in this group here, I go over again from the beginning to putting your product or your service online. We'll talk about working smarter, not harder. And that's essentially what all this is about, guys. Working smarter, not harder. Taking yourself out of the rat race. It's about bringing your brilliance together and finding your uniqueness. Okay, so I want to implore you to visit our website. That is the domain there online. It's called Brilliant Circle. That's bit.ly/Brilliant Circle. Take a gander at the website there, and you'll see more information about the offer that I am sharing with you now. And so, again, what I will be sharing with you are unlimited access to video trainings, courses, coursework, and video software demonstrations. And actually, on my website, or excuse me, on my Facebook page, Curtis Brooks Media Productions, I actually have some videos that I've done already in regards to email, learning how to set up your MailChimp email. Because if you are working in the online space, you want to make sure that you are building a email list, and that email list is going to be your customer base. And again, I mentioned earlier, essentially being like a physical location, a store, excuse me, your online space, but virtual though, essentially virtual. So you don't obviously have people walking down the aisles and touching things and picking up things, but they are perusing your website, the different pages you might have. They are taking a gander at what you're sharing on your website. They're reading, and we may not see these. Obviously, these things are not necessarily physical things, but if you're reading context or content on a website or landing page, your words have to really be effective. They have to kind of resonate with that person. You have to be speaking to their needs, what they want, essentially. So again, I would implore you to check out this group here. It is called The Brilliant Circle, our Facebook group. You can enroll now by visiting bit.ly, Brilliant Circle. And again, once you enroll, you will have access to all of this information that's here on the page here. You'll get unlimited access to worksheets, PDF summaries, checklists, homework, at times, audio files and downloads. We can also schedule a one-to-one block time for private tutoring, for help, and just to accelerate learning. And that is essentially what the online space is about. Because if you don't have time to learn it, you can, again, either have a one-on-one with me, or you can spend the time watching the videos. And I mean, you're going to spend time either way. That's just how it goes. You're going to spend time learning and getting the information and putting it to use, and learning how to be effective with the information. So within this group here, we'll learn all of those things. Again, that is going to be from the beginning to the end, eventually putting your service, or you're getting your service or product online and available to your customers. And again, as I mentioned earlier, about giving so much to so many other people in so many different areas of life, if you will, to kids, to the job, and to the spouse, to the boyfriend, the girlfriend. And again, we can be pulled in so many different directions because of that. They're like all these layers now on top of us, if you will, essentially, kind of, sort of speak, if you will. There are all these layers that are on top of us. And, just kind of just feeling ourselves almost being buried under under everyone else's stuff. And it really, truly takes a time to just kind of remove those layers, man. It really does. And I'm just being very frank with you. It's like, it just takes time to remove those layers, man, and just get back to that space where it's like, wow, you know what? I don't want what she wants. I don't want what he wants me to have. I want what I've learned, or I've come to the place to say, you know what, this works for me and this doesn't work for me. So that's what I mean for me about finding my uniqueness, because it does take time. You will go through some things, you'll go through some emotions, and it's almost really like being like, I don't know, for, I guess, the lack of a better word, detoxing from a drug or some kind of, there's been some kind of dependency. And truly there is, because we've been dependent upon a system that doesn't work anymore. And so as we begin to scale back and decide, wait a minute, I can use the same skills that I went to school for, that I've learned in a job. I can use those same skills in my private time online, showing others how to accomplish something, build a website, whatever the case might be. It could be coaching. I can spend the time, my level of education, my knowledge, showing people online and make money online. And there is no better sense of gratification than building something with your own hands. I mean, that's what it's been for me. And I think that you also will find, yes, absolutely, Tachi, detoxing. Yes, that was the best I came up with, but I think it's definitely fitting. But you can definitely find yourself really, again, just buried under the rubble of just life's situations, kids, stuff, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, just life in itself. And you can find yourself just giving and giving and giving and giving. And believe it or not, women, guys go through the same thing. We all go through the same thing. We just give and give and give to the point where, who am I? What am I doing here? So again, the online space for me has afforded me to really just, again, to find life again. To find life again, to just remove all the rubble, the just life situations, things that really, to be honest with you, things that I found out I wasn't responsible for. Maybe that works for you, some of you. I found out there were things that I had taken responsibility for that I'm no longer responsible for. But it was something, again, just in the way of so many other things. It was a distraction. It was something that was put on me, and that I found myself just say, okay, sure, just give it to me. I'll take it. Give it to me. I'll take it. I'll take it. And now through the online space and just really just kind of just detoxing, as I said earlier, I find myself, man, you know what? That's not mine. I'm not responsible for that. Whatever that might be, whatever that other person might be dealing with, maybe our kids, girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, whatever, life. That's not mine. And that's one of the greatest things I've learned in the online space is I found my uniqueness, and that uniqueness is not only available to me, it's also available to you. You too can find your uniqueness. And I think that once we step away from the rat race, yeah, absolutely. Once we step away from the rat race, I think we can all have the possibility, or the possibility lies, or is available to all of us to find our uniqueness. Hey, Z, what's going on? Thank you for joining. People probably do the same thing. Absolutely. Absolutely, Tachi. People can do the same thing on their jobs and make more. Again, absolutely. Absolutely. And that is definitely what the online space is about, because man, I could really get involved in this. I know you guys, I don't want to take too much more of your time, but I can really get involved with this, because if you think about it, I mean, seriously think about it, there's just so many layers to this. And depending on how deep you want to go, what you want to get from the experience, if you will, what you want to build, you're going to have to dig deep for it. Because if you want to build a solid foundation, you've got to make sure that you go deep. And I think, again, stepping away from the rat race, if you will, working that regular job, it has allowed me to go deep. It has allowed me to dig deep, because the foundation for which the job presents itself, it was just a shallow foundation, if you will. Hey, Michael, thanks for joining, man. Thank you for joining. Been talking about actually a lot of different things, but primarily making money online, and just really just it's unlimited resources, unlimited possibilities about making money online. and then also about finding my uniqueness. And, I think that's what the online space provides or can provide for a lot of us, is to find our uniqueness. And until you find that, truly, until we find that, you'll see that there's so many layers to life, man. And you have to sometimes, obviously in life, you can't pull to the side of the road and try to, yes, thank you, Tachi. You obviously can't pull to the side of the road and take a break from life, because obviously life just, whatever situation you're in, depressed, whatever, you're happy, it doesn't matter. Life continues to move on with or without us. And my goal here is to, again, have this conversation with you in regards to making money. I know it's not just about money, but truly, if you have the resources, money can allow you to be happy. There's some other work that comes along with it. Obviously, it's not just about money, but money will allow you to do things for others. How many of you have been in this situation where it's that you've been looking down on yourself about something, and then now you find out, wait a minute, let me help someone else. And when you help that person, whoever they have been, you extend a hand to that person, you find out, wow, you feel so much better about helping others. And I think that's what the online space is about. It's about helping others and achieve their goals. Yes, absolutely, Z. Money answers all things. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. But yeah, it's about helping others achieve their goals. And when you're buried under the rubble of just life situations, it becomes very difficult to find your uniqueness. It becomes very difficult to find your uniqueness. So again, I implore all of you to really, search for your uniqueness. It's not necessary that we're going to be so different from the next person. That's not the goal. The goal is to find out what works for you. And for me, the online space works for me. I love being my own boss. I love sharing. I love giving. And so again, I implore each of you to really search for your uniqueness. And sometimes we have to kind of link up with other people to find out our uniqueness, because there's something that they're doing that we're encouraged by, something that they're doing that we're like, how do they do that? So I encourage you again to link up with some people who are doing the very thing that you like to do. Begin to do your research on YouTube. There are tons of videos out there, guys, tons of videos that will help you, again, find your uniqueness. In order to find your uniqueness, you need the information, guys. Okay, it's not just about doing. You need the information. You need the words of encouragement in order to find your uniqueness. And sometimes as an entrepreneur, you will absolutely be in a space and a place where you are seemingly by yourself. And since Z is giving scriptures, I'll talk about how the Bible says David had to encourage himself. And there will be times where, as an entrepreneur, lots of times where you will have to encourage yourself. Okay, lots of times you're gonna have to encourage yourself. And so, yeah, guys, that's about it. I don't have a whole much more to say, but that is about it. Michael, thank you for joining. Z, thank you for joining. My host, or I'm hosting a show, Media Scope, with Dr. Tachi. She's on. Thank you, Tachi, for joining. And Tish was on earlier. Tish, thank you. And also Cassandra was on. So guys, I thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I thank you all for being a part of this live stream. Again, I talked about my group also. That is the Brilliant Circle. It is a group where I have put together. I help you from beginning to bringing your product or your service to fruition, bringing it online. So we go over landing pages. We go over copy. We talk about email clients or services such as MailChimp, GetResponse, Constant Contact, and again, there's a host of email service providers. We talk about all those things that's going to help you get online. Again, help you promote your business, your offer, your product. Again, get it in front of people. That's our goal. So the group is called the Brilliant Circle. I'll put it on screen here one more time before we wrap it up. And that is the page that you'll see when you go to the link. And that link is, again, bit.ly/brilliance circle. All right, check us out there if you guys are interested. Any of you are interested, or you know someone perhaps. I know most of you who are already on are already in the online space, but perhaps you know someone who kind of needs that that extra push, or has a skill set and to put those things in motion to make money online with the skill set they already have. So you don't have to relearn anything, and don't have to create something brand new. The content and the information that you are looking for is already out there, guys. So be mindful of that. Don't try and reinvent the wheel. All right, guys, I am going to wrap this up. Thank you for tuning in again. Tachi, questions within the chat area of this video here, or this live stream, and I will go through those messages, and I will answer your questions as best as I can. And we will see you soon. Ciao.